What's going on, y'all? It's Stavros. Welcome back to Behind the Visor. New episode. We got my guy, Bralon Addison, Oregon legend. Obviously, had a great career up in the CFL. You know, got the pleasure of playing with you the first couple years of my CFL career before he moved on to Ottawa. Man, appreciate you for coming on today. Appreciate you.
Nah, man, I appreciate you having me, man. It's good to connect with a, former teammate and a former competitor. Good to see you, my brother. I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah, likewise, man. Well, I guess we'll start initially. I just want to congratulate you, obviously, on your career. I know you just recently retired, but I'll let you speak on that a little bit and kind of what went into that. Because obviously, I mean, we're athletes, right? At the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. People don't see the true behind the scenes of, the injuries we deal with, the mental part of it. But kind of what went through it for you, and what went into kind of making that decision.
Yeah, man. It started off like 2024 was kind of the first time that I really even thought about it. It was the first time where I started to think like, you know what? Like I'm getting up there in age and
Hmm.
like I've 2024 I was going on my seventh surgery when I broke my hand in the middle of the season. And I came back and had a great end to the season, but like that's the first time it kind of like really crossed my mind where I was like, okay, like I need to start making an exit plan.
Right.
And going into 2025, like that 2024 offseason, going into 2025 when I re-signed with Red Blacks, like I did all these things to like really get ready. I like changed my diet. I lost a few pounds. I got closer to the playing weight that I was at when I was at my All-Star year in 2019. And like I really just feel like I hit it hard that off season, coming into camp, making sure I didn't have any nagging injuries and I can make it through camp healthy. And the first 4 weeks of the season, I'm having a great year, and then I get a grade three AC joint sprain.
Hmm.
And so like already it was kind of crossing my mind, like, you mentioned how like as an athlete, like people don't really see the ins and outs and the things we deal with mentally. And since 2019, brother, I've like not played like this is me in my thought process when I
Yep.
tore my when I sprained my AC joint. I'm thinking to myself, since 2019, I've never had a season where I play every single game.
Right.
So already in the back of my mind, that thought is there. And when I got the grade three AC joint sprain, I missed a couple weeks. So like I said, retirement is like, you know, I've already thought about it at the end of 2024, but like I'm thinking to myself, like I want to play at least another 2 or 3 more years. Like I know I can play as
Right.
far as like production wise goes. So I had this injury, and then I think I missed 3 weeks. Yeah, I missed 3 weeks. I come back, um, and we're playing Winnipeg, and it's a third and one or second and one or something. We, obviously we quarterback sneak it,
Yep.
and I'm on the edge, just getting down there, putting my shoulder in there, like receivers do. We don't really get in there,
Yeah.
and one of their DBs, like he's doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and he like accidentally like knees me in my kidney, bro, and like I
Mm.
ruptured my kidney, and
Dang.
I was like peeing blood and all type of stuff, bro. So that was
Really?
like that happened right when I came back, and so I missed another week for that. And then like now in my mind it's like it's a real thing because it's like now this is like a kidney is something where it's like that's lifelong stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
obviously the surgeries and the bones and the bone bruise and the bone breaks and the tendon tears, like with science and stuff like that nowadays, like that stuff will heal. But
Right.
when it's something like a kidney or something like that, or you hear people getting brain injuries and things like that, it's
Yep.
like, oh shit, like, So uh that happened. I come back from that and I finish the rest of the season. And like I feel great for the rest of the season. I'm playing well. Obviously we didn't have a great season.
Yep.
And after the season ends, free agency comes and a lot of teams like they're questioning that like, oh, his age, his injury history, his age, his injury history, which is, a fair question.
Hmm.
And so my agent was just like, man, like I don't think right now, as far as free agency goes, like a deal is gonna be on the table.
Right.
And he was like, but I know if we waited to training camp, like it'd be a situation where you would be one of the first calls of a guy that's, waiting.
Right.
Kind of like, how TJ Lee was last year
Yep.
after he came off his Achilles and he came back, he had a great end of the year. And then this year he signed in February.
Yep.
So that's kind of like what my agent was pitching. But it just got to the point, bro, where I was like I said, I had already been thinking about like hanging him up in the next few years anyway.
Yep.
And I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I'm sitting around waiting and then something else happens. I'm
Right.
kind of I'm a type of person where it's like I'm either all in or I'm all out.
Right.
So I realistically didn't think I was gonna go out here and work a job and then still be dialed in to working out. Like once I'm focused on something, I want to be focused on
Yeah, you
that.
want to be
So
all in.
that's kind of
Yeah.
what led to the retire. Yeah, that's kind of what led to the retirement, bro. It's like I knew that I was kind of at the point where I wasn't gonna be able to all in focus on training, all in focus on my diet, all in focus on trying to be healthy, trying to be explosive, just the things you have to do to come into camp ready to battle for a position.
Yep.
And then at the same time, it was just kind of like I'm not 25 no more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
as a 25-year-old, yeah, I can go work at some job and then still train and be ready, just in case I get that call. Now I'm hopping on the plane, I'm ready to go. But at
Yeah.
32, I didn't feel like that was kind of realistic. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what led to it, bro. It's just like I just felt like it was time to make that call.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you like? What are you up to now? I know are you back in Texas now?
Yeah, bro. I just like literally just got off the road. Today's Monday. I just got off the road on Sunday. I drove 7 hours. So I have like my some of my family lives in New Jersey. So I
Okay.
drove like 7 hours to New Jersey, stayed like 2 or 3 days, and then I drove like 26 hours straight, bro, to Texas from New
Oh,
Jersey. So
no
yeah,
stops?
no. Well, I stopped and like got gas,
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
rest, charged up my phones a little bit, but like I didn't sleep anywhere for the night. Like I felt like
Yeah.
I wanted to get it over with, and like
Yeah.
driving helps clear my mind. So like the retirement kind of went like live, like it was official while I was driving.
Oh,
So
wow.
I feel like I was able to collect my thoughts and like um just be able to think to myself and not have any distractions and not be in a house where I'm sitting there in four walls and I'm like, damn, like should I have done it? Like it was
Yeah.
just a time for me to really clear my mind. So the drive was cool, bro. But I'm trying to answer your question. I'm trying to get into coaching right now.
Okay.
That's my next move. I want to coach, bro. I've always, been into X's and O's, and I always consider myself as a smart player. So I want to kind of pass my knowledge forward and be able to teach the younger guys.
Yeah. Are you trying to get in like in the States or back in Canada or just kind of whatever opportunity comes?
Yeah, right now, just whatever opportunity. It's kind of like, what I'm hearing from everybody I reach out to right now. Like, you got to start back at the bottom, like
Right.
how when you were a player, you had to start here and then
Yeah.
work your way up. So right now, I'm just trying to get in whatever I actually signed up to do the diversity internship for the
Okay.
CFL to come for training camp. So I'll be up there. I signed up for it for Winnipeg. Obviously, the connection with Tommy, and then
There you go.
get to get in a good organization and things like that. And then I actually signed up for the Bill Walsh, former NFL players internship too. So
Oh, okay.
like I'm just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to knock it down one at a time and just figure out what's next. But I know for sure I want to coach in my future.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing, like take advantage of that network. I know you already know that anyway, but like, man, like this
Yeah.
football world, you always you forget like how small it is, and everybody kind of knows somebody, right? At the end of the day, like there's so many people. I mean, we have mutual friends that played with you. I think you played with Ryan Clanton at Oregon, right? I think we talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So like this the small worldness of football, and I think he's in the coaching sphere, but like you never know, right? Like who might be the one that gives you that job or gives you that opportunity, and like making the most of that. But that's what's up. But kind of transferring into that, I guess the Oregon days. Like obviously you were a 4-star out of high school, right? Like you were coming out, talk of the town in Texas. I know we have our battles on what state has the best football, California or Texas, but
Yeah.
we don't got to get into too much of that. But what was your favorite jersey combo? When you initially were getting into Oregon, and I mean, for me, I remember growing up, I was like, man, Oregon is the place. Like they got every jersey, they got it all. But what was your favorite combo that you got to wear while you were at Oregon?
Man, that's tough. Like, bro, like you don't understand like how many like different ways we put things together. Like,
Yeah,
it's funny, like when I was a kid, I was the same way. Like I used to watch Oregon, and like I never was like a huge Oregon football fan, but I loved their uniforms, like the Dennis Dixon days, the Joey Harrington days. Like I always liked watching them because I like to see, what combo they would put on. Um, but like once I started getting recruited by them, I started like, kind of paying attention a little bit more.
right.
And it was even more funny when I got there because, like, from the outside looking in, you think like, oh, they got hundreds of thousands of jerseys, but then
Yep.
it's really like, you wear this helmet with this jersey and these pants and these
Yeah.
shoes, and like, you just flip flop them, and it's like so many different ways you could put something together. So uh, that was like something that was like really interesting to me,
Yep.
and I think it makes that, like, it makes that what was my favorite combo, hard to
Yeah.
say. But what I will say is like I could tell you each one, like my favorite helmet, my favorite jersey, my favorite pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think my favorite helmet we ever wore was my sophomore year was the first time we broke them out. We had like it was all white helmet with like the
The
gray
chrome.
wings on it.
Yeah. The
Yeah, the
chrome
chrome
wings.
wings going
Yep.
up to the back. Yeah, with the white face mask. Like that was my favorite helmet ever because it was just like it was so clean, bro. It was just like it was funny. It's like you remember when you growing up and like if you were in a house that like had like super white walls
Yep.
and you didn't like if you touched it, you were like, oh shoot, did I get something? Like that's how the helmets were. It was like almost like I didn't want to get tackled because I didn't want to have a scratch on my helmet. So then that
Right.
was my favorite helmet. Uh, I would say my favorite jersey. Uh, my favorite jersey we had it was one jersey we had for breast cancer.
Yep.
We had the black jersey with the pink accent.
The
Like I
pink
thought those
accents
were
on
pretty
it.
dope. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, it
Those are
was something like
fire.
I had never seen anybody do. Because everybody was doing like the pink ribbon or
Yep.
like they might have a pink stripe on their helmet. Because even my sophomore year, we did an all pink helmet with the black O. And but I think the jersey with the pink accent, like the first time I had ever seen that is when we did it, and I think that was probably my favorite jersey. Um, my favorite pants. Hmm. My favorite pants would probably have to be the all black pants we
All
had
black.
because I love all black uniforms and I feel like the black pants, why I say they're my favorites because I feel like they truly go with a lot of different uniform combos. I feel like all white is cool, but I feel like white pants look kind of quirky with some jersey tops. But
Yeah.
I feel like almost every jersey we had some kind of way we could make the black pants look good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we got to wear them a lot. We would wear the white with the black. We were with the green with the black. We were all black. We wore yellow and black one time.
Yeah.
So I just feel like the black pants were really the most versatile pants we had. And then my favorite cleat combo
Man, you
would
guys had them
be
all. You had like, did y'all get
yeah.
cleats that weren't even like released?
Yeah, especially like like right when I left was when like because like
It really blew up.
when I was coming in, like it was really like strict still as far as like what Nike was willing to do.
Right.
But like right when I left was kind of where like Nike was just like, all right, we're gonna make these custom Jordan cleats, and then like you just started seeing all type of cleats come out of nowhere,
Yep.
and then obviously with the connection that Oregon had, like there was the whole like the Oregon edition, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
like Dion got his own cleat now, like
Yep.
somebody else had their own cleats at one time. Odell had his own, like
Yep.
it just started being all types of people had their own type of cleat, and then like obviously Oregon would get them, but still when I was in school, it was just like strictly like vapor jets, like untouchables, things like that.
Yep.
I would have to say my favorite probably was the Untouchable Pro Twos, where
Okay.
we had it was the all yellow but with the green toe. Like those was like
Yeah.
I really like those, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so those are my favorite like helmet, jersey, pants, cleat combo for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that Autzen Stadium, I got to go there one time. I think my parents and I were like driving up like through that whole like Oregon, Washington coast area. And we stopped.
Hmm.
We stopped up there in it's Eugene, right? That's where Oregon is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We
Yep.
stopped
Yep.
up there, and
Yep.
we're walking around kind of that stadium area. I mean, obviously there wasn't a game going on, but I was like, man, this would be so cool to play here one day. But obviously never got that opportunity. But man, like that is definitely like the experience. Do you go back to like many games often?
Bro, I actually have not been to one single game in
Really?
Austin since I've left. Like, yeah, like I have not been to one because obviously, like, my first year out, I was still playing in the NFL, so the season was like at the same time.
Yep.
And then the year I was out of football after playing in the NFL, I just never made it back to Eugene. And then once I got up to Canada, playing every year in Canada, like I was so like every team I played for was on the East Coast. You know what I mean? Like being in
Yep.
Hamilton and in Ottawa, like it's like
Yeah.
damn near a day travel just to get there, not to
Yeah.
mention be there, then have to come back. Like, and then like our season prime is like right when their season is kind of beginning. So
Hmm.
I've never really had time to make it back, but I do plan on going back soon now that I'm out of football and like, I'm on the other side because I want to be able to go out and get around the kids and then also like get under the coaches and learn a little bit if I can and be
Right.
able to do things like that. So, but the atmosphere at Austin, bro, it's awesome. I wish you would have when you were passing through you would have got to, just see a game
Yeah.
or anything. But maybe one day
One, one of
you'll
these
coach there,
days.
So,
One of these days, I'll definitely have to pull up
yeah,
for
you know what I
sure.
mean. But the atmosphere is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome. What was it like? like going through kind of, I know Mariota went through the Heisman race and, ended up winning that. What was it like being around like a player like that and just kind of seeing, I mean, obviously we've heard that you were here with Johnny Manziel, I think, right? Or were you just after him with Hamilton?
So, he had just left and went to Montreal when I got there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you just missed him,
Yeah.
but like, what was it like being around a player like that and kind of to see him like ascend and the media. I'm sure all the fans are crazy when y'all would go different places, but what was that like?
I it was crazy, bro. Like the experience of like, you grow up and you watched, the Reggie Bushes, the Matt Leiners, Tim Tebow's, like you watch those guys win the Heisman, and then like, you dream yourself as being one of those people, but then like, understanding the nature of college football when you actually get there and you're in it and you're next to somebody that's like going through that phase, like it's almost kind of surreal, bro, because it's like
Right.
obviously you're trying to play and you're trying to win games, so it's like you're not really paying that much attention to it.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, and this is pre-social media era too, so I can only imagine like
Yeah.
what it's like now. You know what I mean? Like how
Yeah.
when Travis Hunter was doing it, like what was going on a daily,
Right.
and then um like just the hype and like every weekend, like the crowd being like, there was no game that season where it was like, well, they didn't come out today. Like the fans, like every stadium was packed. We
Yep.
played at every stadium. Every time we played at home, it was packed. There was no empty crowds. There was no sold out crowds that we played in front of. So it's just like the element of every tailgate, the like, so we used to do this thing where I don't know how many schools do it, but we used to do this thing like when we would bus from the hotel for a home game, we would bus back to the stadium that morning. We
Yep.
do this thing where we walk through our like indoor practice facility, and like the fans, it's like gated off. So it's kind of like a you see when like Georgia and Clemson and all
Yeah,
those
they do
schools
like the
do it,
walk in.
we would
Yep.
do it. Yeah, the walk-in. So like we would walk through, shaking hands and things. Like even that year, that was like so crazy. It felt like people were coming down from all the surrounding cities to come to those. Like everything just seemed so much more intense. It just seemed like everything was heightened. And then I can only imagine how it feels to be with a guy that's like flamboyant, but like Marcus is the ultimate chill like personality. Like he's so
Right.
humble, he's so chill. So it's like I think it made people that much more crazy about him, because it was like I feel like back in the day, like before social media, like seeing a celebrity, you know what I mean, like back in the 90s and things like that, where they
Yep.
like they never saw celebrities. So if you see like, I'm not comparing Marcus to this person, but like
Yeah.
this is the first name that comes up in my mind. Michael Jackson. If you see him
Yep.
out, it's like, oh my God, that's Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, But like again, I don't want anybody to see this and they be like, oh, he's not Michael Jackson. I'm not comparing him. I'm just saying like in that era, like now I feel like when you see a celebrity now, it's just like, oh, like look, that's
It's just
Odell
another day
Beckham. Like, but you
almost.
see him every day on Instagram, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I think that factor of like Marcus being out in the city, like if you were ever with him, like was like, oh shoot, like look, it's Marcus, because he's such a laid back and humble. Like I don't even think he had an Instagram account at that time or any type of
Right.
social media. So it was kind of that effect. And like I don't even know if you heard any stories about him, but like bro, he's like never got in trouble or anything. And I remember
Right.
he got like I forgot what kind of ticket he got one time back in Oregon. And it was like a big deal, bro. Like the
Really?
whole city knew, like it was on the news. Like he got a ticket and it was on the news. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh
that's how
man.
crazy that year was, just like being around him. It
Yeah.
was crazy. It was a good year though, but it was cool to see him win that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. From that, I know you were talking kind of like that 18-19 season and the whole NFL deal. Like, how did that all come about with you, making the transition down the NFL, signing with the Vikings?
Oh yeah, man. It was so 16 when I played for Chicago. I had a little decent time with them, and then that next season, so I went undrafted. I went to camp with Denver,
Hmm.
didn't make Denver's team. I got cut, sat a couple weeks, and then Chicago called me. So I spent time on Chicago's practice squad, and I was doing really well, bro. Like I first got there, I was doing really well on, scout team, and we would do one-on-ones. I was winning a lot of my one-on-one reps, and like I remember one thing I always remember is Alshon Jeffrey. At the time he was like the
Yep.
guy in the
Like
league, and
that.
he
Yeah.
kept like as soon as I got there, he kept coming up to me. He was like, "Hey, just be patient. Like you can play ball. Like
Hmm.
your time gonna come." And I remember like the day I got the call that I was gonna be active, he came up to me. He was like congratulating me. He was like, "You should have been up," but he was like, "Take advantage of it." So, I think I played 3 games that year or something. And I played well, but we were bad. Like I think we won. I want to say 2 games that year. I think
Yeah.
maybe we won 2 games. And so Fox like had to fire the whole staff
Oh
under
man.
him. And then Also some other coaches just left and went and got new jobs. So like as an undrafted guy, for those who don't know, as an undrafted guy, like when you get around an assistant coach who really likes you, like
Yep.
as long as he keeps his job, like your job is more, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it's more
Right.
safe. You know what I mean? So once like the new assistant staff came in, like they started bringing in guys they wanted. And then obviously at that time I was playing like the running back slash receiver position and they
Yeah.
drafted Tariq Cohen that year. So I got cut.
Mm.
So I sat a year, and then Spencer Zimmerman at the time, he
Yep.
called me and was like, "Hey man, you still playing football?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Some kind of way there was a rumor that I retired." And I was like, "Nah, I'm still playing."
Yep.
So I ended up going to Toronto in 18, and I made their practice squad out of training camp, and I was on their practice squad for like 7 or 8 weeks, and then like Deron Carter got released from SAS, and so I got cut for Deron
Mm.
Carter, and the next week I was in Hamilton. And like I just remember like to be honest, bro, for a while I hated football. Like after like how my career ended at Oregon
Right.
and like not getting drafted and then like the undrafted process and then being on the street and then coming up to Canada and like feeling like I was good enough to play but not understanding the ratio. Like, it was just
Yep.
so much that was going on in that little couple years that I started to kind of hate football. And when I got to Hamilton, bro, just being around like the Hamilton culture and like not even talking about the team, the city at this point, like just seeing
Yeah.
how passionate they were about the team, and then like being around the guys on the team, seeing the coaching staff and how they operated, like it made me love football again because it kind of reminded me of like high school a little bit. Like
Yep.
it made me realize that like bump the money, bump the accolades, bump the stars, bump the this person knows you, bump all that. Like at the end of the day, like you're here to play football, and that's
Yep.
kind of how the vibe was for me in Hamilton.
Hmm.
And 18, I got on the roster at the end of the season. I had like some really good games. I think my first game I had like 100 yards and a touchdown, like my very first game being up. And then a couple guys got like I went back down on the practice roster, but a couple guys got hurt and so for the playoffs, I had to start. Like I just got thrown into the fire and like
Yep.
I think we played BC the first playoff game. And I
Yep.
think I went for like 150 on him in the first half. And
Oof.
then the second playoff game, we played we played Ottawa the second playoff game in the East
Yep.
Final. And I think I had like 112 on them. And then we lost. And I just remember like I'll never forget this. That day I tweeted and I said, uh thanks Tiger Town for sticking with us all season.
Hmm.
Trust me, we'll be back and better next year. And like I'm fresh on the team at
Yeah.
this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm hooping, but like nobody like really knows me. They just kind of like, oh, like this guy could be good. You know how it
Right.
is when that like the
Yep.
American comes to the CFL and he has a
Yep.
couple good weeks. Like now you got to see if he can do it for a whole season. So I remember that next year, 2019, like I was working crazy in the off season because I was getting that love back again. You know what I mean? Like feeling how much it meant to Hamilton fans, how much it
Right.
meant to the guys on the team. Like, I had been in a situation like when I was with Chicago, bro, it was like this is a part of the reason why I kind of like stopped caring about stopped football a little bit. Like, and I think this will give people like a perspective that they don't really see. It's like when you're on a losing team in the league, like you got half the locker room that's like mad and
Yep.
like passionate and caring, and then half the locker room that's like collecting checks. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like they really don't care because it's like after a game they got $500,000 going into their account. You know what I'm saying?
500K.
So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So we getting beat, bro, by like 20, 25 points, and
Yep.
dude like, hey, what we doing tonight? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this 500K just got deposited into their account. So it's like it was a weird situation for me because like I'm an undrafted guy, so I'm not getting 500K. Like I'm trying to get to that 500K point. So this stuff still means a lot to me.
Right.
But like it's other guys that's already there, so like they don't really care. So I was like in a weird little situation there where that kind of started a while. I was like, damn, like is this shit really fun? I don't
Yeah.
even know if I can cuss, sorry, but
You can.
um
It's going on
once I
YouTube.
once I got to Hamilton, bro, it was like everybody cared, like you've been there for so many years now, bro. It's
Yep.
like it's a different feel, bro. Like
Yep.
everybody cares, like it means the most because like ain't none of us out there getting rich. Like you making good money to like live your life and start
Yep.
another life after, but like you ain't getting filthy rich. So it's like you coming in here putting your body on the line and you meeting guys from all over the world. Like it's really a different atmosphere. It's really a different bond that's being built.
Yep.
And then in Hamilton, let's just be honest, like it ain't like Hamilton is an amazing city where you just doing all these type of activities like a Toronto or like a Ottawa or like a
Right.
BC or like a Montreal. Like it's all about football there, you know?
Yep.
So like it started making me love it again. Like I said, I went crazy that offseason, went hard, and then, obviously, 2019, great year.
Yep.
15-3 that year, I was an all-star, and I just remember one thing I remember from that season for sure was like this is like a testament to how I know like I was just enjoying football again. We were playing, I think we were playing Edmonton in the East Final, bro,
Mm-hmm.
and Riker Matthews, who was the left tackle at the time.
Yep.
um, I had just caught like a screen pass for like a first down. He came up to me, he was like, good stuff, bro. And like it was like a little timeout delay in the huddle. He was like, bro, I'm so proud of you. He's like, yeah, bro, like let's just finish strong and win this Grey Cup and we're gonna get you back to the NFL. And like I
Yep.
remember telling him, I was like, bro, I'm not even worried about that. Like, cause I was just having so much fun. Like,
Yep.
people always say, be where your feet are. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like I wasn't even worried about that. Like I was just having fun and I really was trying to win a Grey Cup for the city of Hamilton.
Yep.
And obviously after the season, I got named all CFL and things. And then like, off season came, my agent was saying like there was some real interest, about going back to the NFL. So
Mm-hmm.
I worked out with San Fran, I worked out with Minnesota, I worked out with Cleveland, and I worked out with the Commanders. And I ended up signing back to the Vikings, bro. And then COVID hit. And I remember vividly, I went to like we reported for training camp, right? So
Yep.
the rookies came in, and like I think at that time, like quarantine might have went down a little bit, but like you still had to quarantine for like 5 days or something like that. It was something crazy.
Right.
So we in a hotel for 5 days, bro, taking two COVID tests a day. So in the morning we had to wake up, report to the stadium, take a COVID
Wow.
test, go back to the hotel. We got meetings all day, and then at the end of the night we go back for dinner to the facility because they had us stay in the hotel. We had to go back to the facility, take another COVID test, eat dinner, go back to the hotel. I did this, so I took 10 COVID tests the day we got
All the like the no
the day
swab
we got
ones.
released. Yeah,
Oh
like they
man.
in there, bro. Like they
Yeah.
in there. So the day we got free from quarantine, we had like a walkthrough, and then the next day we had the day off, and the vets reported, bro, the day off we had. So I hadn't did nothing physical. I hadn't like competed against anybody. I hadn't like did one-on-ones. I hadn't did special teams, nothing. The vets got there the day we had off. The NFL came out with a rule that you had to cut the roster size down from traditional 90 to
Yeah.
75 going into
75.
training
Yeah.
camp. Bro, that next morning after the rule, I got cut. Like, cause
Oh.
obviously they had to cut 15 people, and I was
Yeah.
one of them because I was just coming back from the CFL. So, um, funny enough though, bro, like thinking back to that moment, like it really didn't hurt that bad. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Let me not lie on the camera. I cried when it
Yeah.
happened because the reason I cried though is because deep down inside, I didn't want to go back to the NFL, bro. Like that's how much fun I was having in Hamilton that like
Right.
I was gonna turn down a chance to go back to NFL to stay in Hamilton, but other outside influence at the time that I won't even talk about,
Yeah.
like made me decide to like sign that NFL contract.
Yeah.
And so like when it happened when I got cut, I cried because it was like number one, I felt like I should have listened to my first mind. But at number two,
Yeah.
it was like a sigh of relief because like deep down, I wanted to be back in the
You wanted to
CFL
go back.
anyway, So it was like a
Yeah.
mixed emotion thing. But yeah, so I was just like, all right, cool. Like now I know like my path is just not supposed to be the NFL.
Yeah.
And so I think I got cut, went back home, and like the next month, Berkey hit me up and I re-signed a little 2-year deal with the Tiger Cats, bro. So that's kind of how that like whole story of me ending back up in the CFL happened.
Yeah, and then enter the rookie me in that 2021 year. But yeah, man, like
Yeah.
that love for the game up here is like something that you don't like you kind of regain it, right? Like you're saying like that kind of like that high school feeling. I think a little bit of the college, probably not as much now with all the NIL and how much these kids are getting paid, but I think when you realize that like everyone that's up here for the most part, like aside from I mean, you could say the quarterbacks too, because it's a little bit different, like compared
For
to what
sure.
they would make down in the
Yeah.
NFL. But like everyone up here is really just doing it for the love of the game. Like, yeah, we're getting paid pretty well for only having to work 5 or 6 months, but like no one's making life changing money. No one's walking away when they're done with 20 million in their retirement account. It's like, man, we
Right.
all do this because we love the game, and I think that makes the locker rooms like that much tighter when you realize like, oh, this dude really loves football, and that's why he's here. And like, I think you always get guys every year that come up from the NFL and they're like, not that they're too good to play in the CFL, but they don't see that because they're coming from the NFL and they have that mindset of like, oh, like everyone just out here to get their money type deal. And yeah, like we're playing the
Hmm.
NFL, there's that part of it too, and the politics that go into it. But it's like, I think when a lot of them start to realize like the tight knit community that the CFL is on each team, it's like it reminds you like how much fun it is out here. And like being in Hamilton, like like Hamilton makes it that much more fun because like you said, there's not a whole lot going on here. It's literally just
Nah,
people are working, and then there's Ticats football, and they obviously
yeah,
let you know when you're doing bad, let you know when you're doing good, and I think that's what makes that dynamic so cool. Is like, there's they're so passionate about the game, but like from that like when you get to just go out and play with the boys, like that type of thing, like your dogs out there, and you're just get to go out each week, like traveling. Like I don't know what it is, but like for me, I love like the road trips. Like don't get me wrong, I love playing at home and that type of deal, but
right,
like when you get to go on the travel trips and like you're cracking jokes on the plane, like you're in a hotel, like
yeah,
me and Sim were kind of talking about this the other day, but like there's no other job where you get to really like do that. You know what I'm saying? Like just
yeah.
travel with your guys, have a good time, hang out, go play some football on TV, hopefully win, and then fly back and then do it all over again the next week. It's like, man, like that's the real gift, I think, in all of it at the end of the day.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, y'all hit the head on the nail on the head. It's like you don't even realize that while you're in it, that like you're doing something that less than 1% of the world gets to do, and
Yep.
it's something fun. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
I think, like I said, back to my time in Chicago is like why I felt like my brain was kind of tainted and my mind and my heart was kind of tainted because like all of us when we got in, this is why I wrote that the retirement letter was like I wrote a letter to my 5-year-old self because it's like
Yep.
when you started playing at 5 years old or 6 years old, whatever age you started playing at, like I know there's probably some people, especially not in today's age because of social media and everything
Yep.
going on, but like I know back in my day, like at 5 years old, I wasn't thinking about how much money I could make when I
Mm-mm.
started playing football. I was
No.
thinking about like you just said, hanging out with the boys and like going to the park and like me and my
Yep.
guys just like running and crashing into each other and like when we win, we laugh and when we lose, we cry. Like, like as little
Yep.
kids, like that's all I started playing for was just like to be around the boys and just have fun and like be athletic and get tired and just like, express emotion through sports. And so it's like I feel like high school, college, and then CFL is the closest I got to feeling like that little kid again, and I,
Yep.
like you said, especially in Hamilton, because the community is so immersed into what's going on. You know what I mean? Like I feel like people in Hamilton go to work
Yep.
and they're like at work at their computer or wherever they work, and they're thinking about what the Ticats are going to do this
Yep. Yep.
weekend. You know what I mean? So um I feel like being able to play in both cities like Ottawa and Hamilton, Ottawa being like, a bigger city and more things to offer. Not to say that their fans are bad or don't care, but
Right.
I just know like out of all the cities I've traveled to and been to, I think Saskatchewan and Hamilton, like football means that much more to those fans. You know what I mean? I
Yep.
mean Winnipeg is great too. I
Yep.
won't slight them, but like it just feels a little more different when you're in Hamilton and when you're in Sask. And I think visitors can feel that too. Like the time I got to play in Tim Hortons as a visitor, I couldn't really feel it because like the fans were showing me love, but like
Yep.
how they acted when other people come to the like I just know like those two communities make you feel like
Yep.
well, at least being from Texas, this is how I felt when I was in high school. It's
Yep.
like everybody was all in, like the community, like they're not getting anything out of it, but it's like
Yep.
just to see their son or their kid do well and like see their favorite team do well.
Yeah.
I really love that about Hamilton. Like you said, just being able to build that camaraderie with the guys and fly on a plane to across the country to BC and stay an extra night and be able to, if you
Man.
win, go out and hang with the boys. It's just something that you don't get to feel or experience anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's literally it. Did you know much about like the
Yeah.
CFL coming out of Oregon, or even when you were at Oregon, or was it like kind of? I mean, I know obviously Solly played in the CFL, so I know he had kind of that history. But like, how much did you know about it while you were at Oregon?
So like it was crazy because like I'm such a football savant and like I just love football. So I'll be honest, like I didn't know like the ins and outs and like everything about it, but like obviously I watched solely,
Yep.
I knew who I knew who Deron Carter was because I had seen him have that crazy catch on ESPN that went number
Yeah,
one.
that's right.
Yeah, when I was in college at that time when that, 'cause, so I would watch a couple games here and there if I could
Yeah,
catch it. And then obviously, Ocho Cinco and T.O. coming up here for that little bit of time. So
yep,
like, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like everything about it I knew about it, but like I
right.
definitely was like a guy that if it came on the TV, I wouldn't turn it off. You know what I mean? So and then Bo Levi, he's from my city, and like Bo is
Oh, yeah,
is
that's
a
right. Yep,
legend out
yep,
here, you know what I mean? Because he was at Katy and they win state like, well, they were winning state back in the day like
yeah,
every other year. So like I said, there was definitely players there that I knew about and like I would keep up with and just peep in on at times. And like like I said, it's just something like if it's on the TV I wouldn't turn it off, but
yep,
I definitely could have like known a little bit more about it. So when I got the call though, like this is what I mean about like I just love playing football. When I got the call and Spencer Zimmerman was like, yeah, man, they saying you retired, would you be interested in coming up here? Like I hopped on the plane with no thought, you know what I mean? I was like, all
right.
right, let's go play ball. So um I think now, like the way social media is going, the way the game is going, I feel like the CFL has a much bigger platform and like more players know about it, and like
Yep,
even me when I go start my coaching journey, I'm like definitely gonna tell guys like the NFL, obviously I know everybody's top dream is to play in the NFL, but
yep,
like if you really love football, like the CFL is a great avenue too, where you can still pay your bills,
yep,
take a couple of vacations here and there if you, manage your money right, have a good life and still play the game you love. So,
yeah.
I'll forever be indebted to the CFL because of that.
Yeah, I gotta recommend only because I've been to I think 3 Grey Cups now. Obviously, like being in the PA, we got to go out there for all the festivities and all that for meetings. But if you get a chance, like go to a Grey Cup as I mean now you're not playing anymore, but like because you have
Right.
a name up here in the CFL, like go up. Take part in all that Grey Cup week has to offer because like initially me right like I kind of got spoiled my first year in the CFL we go to the Grey Cup, right? Like we
Right.
do that. You lose it, obviously. You're like, I don't want to be here unless I'm playing in it. But that I think
Right.
the 2022 year, I didn't. I was like, I was a PA rep that year. I went. I think it was in Regina, and Saskatchewan. It was freezing cold, but I went to like every event
Right.
that was going on that week, and like obviously no one really knew who I was at that point, so it was kind of cool just to like fly incognito a little bit, like and not not really
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about that stuff, but like going to like these team parties and seeing how much these fans from all across the CFL travel to Grey Cup and the different parties that are at all these different restaurants there and stuff like that. And then obviously it culminates with the game. That year I didn't stay for the game because I was still salty because Winnipeg was in. I was like, man, I don't want to watch Winnipeg like playing this Grey Cup. And
Yeah.
then obviously Toronto ended up winning. But I think the 24 Grey Cup in BC, like went out there for that and kind of spent time out there. And man, like those Grey Cups 24, 25 in Winnipeg, like being able to go out there, like, yeah, it sucks that you're not playing in it, but like spending the time out there, it, like you said, it just reminds you about that love of the game and then like makes you respect the entire CFL fan base that more. Cause you got people like that are traveling from all over that aren't even, their team isn't even in it. Like you got people like that
Right.
just
Yeah.
make it their thing every year. Like I talk to so many people that's like, oh yeah, this is our 25th Grey Cup in a row, and we're from Calgary, and obviously the Stamps aren't in it, but it's like we do this every year. So that I gotta recommend to you if you get a chance to do it. Definitely go do it, and yeah, enjoy enjoy that all that week has to offer.
Yeah, no, I might take you up on that offer because I've heard nothing but great things about it too as a spectator, I should say.
Hmm.
I've only been as a participant,
Yep.
but I've heard great things, if you're not playing in it, because like even, I got really close to Devontae Deadman
Yep.
and the year that we had it in that we had it in Hamilton, he
Yep.
came and he was telling me like it was a good time and like, because Hamilton had to get the redo
Yep.
because of the COVID year. So he was saying that it's a great time too. So you're now the second person who's
Yep.
told me that it's a great time. So I might have to
Yeah.
check that out.
We got to get a little player contingency out there because the fans will definitely love it. But yeah, like
For sure.
kind of going into that like 22 year. Obviously, you're coming off kind of the injury, and then you did the
Mhm.
Achilles deal, which obviously you never want to see that happen to anybody. Like that's the worst. Like how did you approach that? Obviously, coming off a previous injury to that, and how did you attack that in the offseason? I know we were kind of talking before about Marcellus Bowman and how much of a great impact he's been just on my career here in Hamilton, but kind of let us know how that kind of went for you and the mindset that it took to overcome that.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy leaving Minnesota and then COVID hit. And like, if I had to go back and like really be honest with myself and look myself in the mirror, like going into that 2021 season, like I didn't really immerse myself in the off season how I should have.
Hmm.
I was dealing with, like I said, I was dealing with some other outside factors at the
Yeah.
time that, had me in a different place mentally and uh obviously finally closing that NFL chapter. And I feel like the 2021 season came around so fast. And, I was at home thinking that honestly we weren't even going to play. So I was doing all kind
Right.
of kind of crazy stuff. Like I was playing in softball tournaments, bro. I was playing in basketball tournaments. Like I was just doing all type of crazy, like, you know what I mean? Like I was just
Yeah.
doing crazy stuff. But so we get to camp and like, I obviously tear my meniscus and have surgery and then come back and have two and a half game or two and a quarter of games. And like I'm off to a great start against Ottawa where,
Yeah.
it's looking like I might break a CFL record for receiving yards in the game and then I tear my hamstring.
Yeah. I remember
Um
that game. That was like literally like heartbreaking to see that happen, man.
Yeah, bro. Like, I think that like that was the start of like how I could just like break down my career post COVID. Not
Hmm.
to be a victim or anything, but it was just like once I'm starting to like, okay, like I'm starting to get it back. Like, okay, I could be back to what I was in 2019, and then boom, an injury happened.
Hmm.
And like saying like, after that year, we go into the 2021 off season, and like I went back to immersing myself uh in the off season and being ready. In 2022, I came out like, okay, like I'm gonna remind people like who I was in
Yep.
2019. And I think if you watch me, like I still watch tape of it. Like if you go back and watch me in 2022, I looked explosive.
Yeah.
I was playing good ball, bro. And we had at that time, Timmy had emerged himself, Steve-O had emerged himself.
Yep.
And so it's like a 1, 2, 3 punch, you know what I mean? I'm like we damn near gonna be unstoppable,
Yep.
and like early on in the season, it was like a lot of Tim, Steve, Tim, Steve, Tim, Steve. And I feel like as the season went on, like I started to like catch that fire again. And then
Yep.
that Toronto game, another game, like I said, it looked like I was probably gonna have like a career
Yeah.
day. And then I just remember catching that flat route and I tried to make McFadden miss.
Yep.
And like when I tried to make a miss, like it felt like somebody tripped me. And I
Yep.
look back and I'm like, okay, well, McFadden's still standing up. What's going on? Like I just go down. And like I remember immediately when I went down, bro, like my foot just went numb. Like it just was
Yeah.
like it wasn't there. And so, you know, I had heard the stories. Kobe Bryant's my favorite player of all time. So I had heard
Yep.
stories of how like it feels when you do it. And like I just remember like on the field, like I look back at it today and I just remember thinking like maybe I could have made it more like not so dramatic, like more or not more or less, but maybe I could have made it less dramatic. But like it really wasn't even like my it wasn't like the pain or like the
Yep.
fact that I tore the Achilles. It was my mental state that like damn, like it just seemed like for the last couple of years, every time I start to get back on track, it's like boom, this happens. So it
Right.
was like I just laid there and I just cried, bro, because I was like I really can't believe like I'm the one that's tearing my Achilles. Like I never thought this would happen to me. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So going through that, like just I remember just coming off the field and like it's so crazy how it happens. Like I'm crying and like bro, like I literally feel like everything around me just stopped. Like it was
Yeah.
like I know people were moving and coming up to me and like giving me love and like the
Yeah.
fans, even Toronto's fans were cheering and everything. But it's like you ever watch the movie and like when a dude get hit with like a grenade around him and it's like
It's
he's
like the
like concussed and like
flashbang.
he can't hear
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, bro, like that's how I felt. Like I feel like I got hit like with a flashbang and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like so I get back in the locker room and I'm just like, I can't believe it. So, fast forward, I had a surgery and bro, like literally a month into my recovery after my surgery, I fall down the stairs at home and re-tear it again. And
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that. So
I
I
think I
re-tore it
think I
again.
remember hearing that from man, I think it was either from you or you weren't living with Tunde. No, you were living with Brooks. I was dropping Brooks off, I think, one
Yep, I
time.
live in CB. Yep,
Yep.
at the airport. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. And
So
he was like, man,
yeah,
BA
I
just fell
reached.
down the stairs. I was like, there's no way. Like, I was like, man, that was
Yeah,
just like
bro.
so tough to hear.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. I was doing stuff like, trying to be macho man, bro. Cause CB had went home for spring, well, not spring break, but for a bye week,
Yeah.
and like I'm trying to take the trash out when I
Yep.
should just let it sit there. And like, you know how when you a man, bro, and like, your
Yep.
homeboy say like, I got you, bro, like don't do nothing. But it's like at the end of the day, like I felt bad that he was doing everything around the crib, you know.
Yeah.
So I fall down the stairs, get it redone, and like it's crazy like looking back now because like in that moment, bro, like I literally like I'm like, yeah, my career's over, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But um fast forward, it felt like that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, that I fell down the stairs, because I felt like now it was like, oh, it's not gonna tear again, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But fast forward a couple months go by, Marcellus gets hired and I meet him, bro, and like just like the experience of working out with him, bro, was like so huge for me to keep going, because it was a dude who had been through what we go through.
Yep.
He had been through a tough injury. Like me and Marcellus have the same birthday. A lot of people don't know this. We got the same
Oh,
birthday.
really?
Yeah, so it
Wow.
was just like I felt like I was meeting the older me who had already been through everything I've been through. And like he was just such a good dude, bro. I met his kids, I met his wife, and like,
Yep.
he was speaking life into me and like really helping me mentally get over some battles that like I was dealing with. Cause like while I was in recovery, bro, like one of my closest uncles, he took his own life. So like that
Yep.
was something like me and Marcellus, we connected through that too. And like he just
Hmm.
helped me mind mentally, bro. And it wasn't even like all just about like push the weight up and drop the weight, and like, what I mean,
Yep.
he really knew what he was doing as far as like the physicality thing goes. And if he didn't know, he wasn't one of those guys that tried to act like he knew everything. He would go
Right.
research it, you know what I mean? So I always respect that dude. And then like I really felt like he like motivated me to keep going and like be able to, go to Ottawa then and come back and have a decent year in 2023, and then
Yep.
follow it up with two more solid years in 24 and 25. So, I
Yeah.
forever, he always got a, special place in my heart, bro. I always like I'll see his videos, and you don't talk to people every day, but I even,
Yep.
slide up in his videos just to say what's up, or like see his son doing well and give him a shout out and things like that. So I love that dude forever.
Yeah, man. He's a different breed. He's like you said, he's so locked in with obviously his past and what he's been through, and how he can apply that to the future, which is, the next up and coming players and all that. And like he's just
Yeah,
I don't think there's anyone out there that's like working like he is in that type of position where it's like there's no
yeah,
reason he shouldn't be down like in the NFL or working for some singular pro athlete that's paying him a bunch of money. But like another dude that's just doing it strictly like for the love of the game. Like he doesn't have to be up in Canada like doing this, but I think he just loves the situation that he's in up here and the impact that he's able to have. And like I said, like that dude has helped me a lot just each offseason get me ready for, an 18 game season, right? Like you said, like obviously everyone's goal is to play 18 games plus, plus the playoffs plus preseason, but I mean, we know better than anyone that like it could be one play and then boom, you're out, you can't play, and you got to figure it out. And like he's there with you from like that moment of when you get that injury to be like, all right, like I remember I went through, I think it was like I had a bone contusion in my knee in 2023, and I missed like 4 games. I remember like when I first heard it, he's like, all right, here's the plan, here's what we're gonna do, like we're gonna test it each day, try to do the such and such thing. And it's like he didn't have to do that for me, like, and that's not even like his job necessarily to like help the injured guys. Like his real job is like, okay, make sure that everybody's doing their workouts, doing their training, and then like that's really like where you could draw the line. But like he just goes above and beyond what he's supposed to do. So yeah, we gotta give our shout out to Marcellus, and that. But I think in saying that, like in your story, like I think it's a lot of testament to, if I could pour into you a little bit, like a lot of testament into like your mental fortitude. Cause like you look at like what you've been through and like, okay, like, yeah, you had all your stuff at Oregon and all that, do your NFL stuff, come up here, practice roster, make a name for yourself. Then COVID, you go down to the Vikings, get sliced, come back up here for COVID, make it through all that. And then like to go through the injuries I think that you've been through, like most people would just like give up, right? Like you go through an
yeah,
ACL, all right, you might come back the next year, but like if you go through an ACL and then you go through an Achilles, like most people are just be like, dude, what am I doing this for? And then like you redid your
yeah,
Achilles and then you like still came back and put 3 years out of it. So like, man, like
yeah.
those are the stories that you just like don't hear or don't even like know about what it took to, like no one knows that you retore your Achilles after you just had surgery,
Right.
right? So it's just
Yeah.
like testament to that, and I think that is what's going to take you like far place. Like right, like I play with you. I've seen the type of work ethic you have and what you put into the game. But man, like it's always great to hear it. And like I said, just like hear your story and kind of what you've been through. What makes you unique, one of one at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, bro. I just like I said, I think that's why I chose to go about it the way I went about it, as far as like the retirement letter, like writing it to my 5-year-old self, was because
hmm
like I just mentioned, like I started playing because I love the game. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's like I could be like, I didn't get an offer this off season, like so I gotta wait, or I decided to retire. I could have looked at it as like I'm the victim, but like I wanted to look back into the past and see why I got into the game, and like,
yep,
the goal was to play football for as long as I possibly could. And like, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to make it to be a professional. A lot of
yep,
people that's 5'9" and doesn't run a 4.340 don't get an opportunity to make it and play professional. Not to
yep,
mention you've been on a surgery, you've been under anesthesia 7 times, not to
yep,
mention three of those 7 times was a ACL and two Achilles. Like, you know what I
right,
mean? So I think it was more so, instead of me being salty or me being sad or me being upset that I'm like having to hang them up, it was more so like giving myself a hug and saying like you did it, you know what I mean, and being
yep,
proud of it, and like, your
100%,
story wasn't to play 15 years and be a Hall of Famer. Your story wasn't to do that, but the story you had, you made the most out of it, you know what I mean? And
yep,
I feel like my calling is to pay all of that back to
yep,
somebody else. I feel like I really feel in my heart that I'm gonna be able to impact some younger player who might be a 4 star, or might be a
yep,
2 star, or might be a no star, and like I'm gonna be able to tell them like keep going. You know what I mean? The
yep,
odds are against you, but keep going, because the
yeah,
odds been against me. You know what I mean? So, I think that's why I went about it that way. Is just like give my own self that send off, and not to be in an arrogant way or anything like that, but like I really think about my journey, and like as a kid, all the dreams and wild things I would imagine.
yep,
And shoot, like at the end of the day, none of us think about tearing our ACL or tearing our Achilles or
right,
getting a knee contusion, or, getting a concussion. None of us think about that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So to be able to keep going, like you said, that mental fortitude, and be able to play 3 more seasons, bro,
yeah.
it's just like, I got to be grateful and thankful. So that's kind of why I just, give that send off to myself like that.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting to see what you do in the future. I'm like, nothing but I think there's gonna be nothing but great things in it. But to end it off on a lighter side, what is kind of one of the things? Obviously, the CFL is a small league. Like you end up playing against
Hmm.
dudes that you played with. Obviously, I'll probably end up answering this question too after you go. But
Yeah.
like, how do you sort of channel that like dog mentality? Like when you have to go against, it's easy when you go against people you don't know, right? But like when you have to go against dudes that
Hmm.
you played with, were teammates with, were in the locker room with, like, how do you channel that? Like, how do you flip that switch? What's that for you?
Yeah, bro. Like, I'll say playing against you, bro. It was like, I used to say little slick stuff to you, like, uh, like, cause obviously DBs y'all can't hit high anymore. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, they call you. Some people call you the torpedo, bro. So I used to see you. I'd be like, don't hit me in my legs today. Stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
just trying to like mess with you and get in your head a little bit, just to let you know, like, we out here competing, but I still love you. Cause I'm not one of them dudes that's like I just don't want it to be the elephant in the room. Like at the end of the day, like we both out there trying to kill each other. Like,
Yep.
make no mistake about it. Like we're trying to
100%.
win the game. We're trying to compete at the highest level. But it's just like it could still be a little funny game too. Because at the end of the day, like we all trying to get back home to our families,
Yeah.
bro. And I think like just at this point in my career, I'm the older guy now. I'm the vet. Like so,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm jerking your chain a little bit, just
Yeah.
showing love. But I always like that, bro. Like I just feel like it's a little bit more fun when I can catch a slant on you, or like, you tackle me, and like
Yeah.
I remember I think it was 2024, bro, when I was playing running back against y'all, like I had like a wide zone that I could have
Shoelace.
took to the house, and you tackled me. Yeah, you tackled me,
Shoelace.
bro. And I got up
I
and
remember
I was
that.
mad as hell. You yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like it's just all fun and competition, bro. I love it.
Yep.
Like it's like, at the end of the day, I know we both in there like you're not gonna take it easy on me. I'm not gonna take it easy on you, but
Right.
like, we could talk that trash a little bit and make it like again, back to how it was in the driveway when you were a kid, you
Literally.
playing a basketball against your friend, or y'all playing throw them up, bust them up, and like you talk trash, but at the end of the day, y'all still loved each other. Y'all went and
Yep.
played video games together after. So I
Yep.
always loved that, bro. And it's like I loved competing against y'all when I left Hamilton, bro. That was like my favorite game to play in.
Yeah, man. I actually I remember that play exactly. Like I remember kind of you coming on that outside zone. I didn't realize that there
Yeah.
was no one behind me. I was just like, I just got to make this tackle. And like, I just remember the
Right.
way
Yeah.
I like, it wasn't like a clean tackle, but Coach O always says any tackle is a great tackle in the open field. But I kind of like slid
Yep.
down, like kind of hit your legs. And then I think like you ended up falling, but like I'm just like rolling and turning to see if like I actually got you down. And all I hear is like you get
Hmm.
up and smack the ball and then just be like,
Yep.
damn, man. Like I was like, okay, I
Yeah.
think I just maybe saved a touchdown right there. But
Yep.
man, that's like the craziest thing. Like I always think about it because yeah, like my thing, obviously playing defense, it's like I want to hit someone as hard as I can. Like that's the goal. But like when I really boil it down,
Hmm.
like I never want to like see anyone get injured, right? Like when you make a big
Right.
play
For
and
sure.
you hit someone hard, like I think the whole reason behind why you want to do it is because like you want him to get up and be able to talk trash back to him, right? Like you can't talk trash to
Yeah.
someone who's laying on the ground and hurt. And like be that as may, some guys, may take it a little bit too far and take it to that level when dudes are down and injured. Like I personally, like that's not me. But like I think
Right.
that's the whole point of like that's the competitiveness. Like brings you back to the kid. It's like, man, like I gotta hit this dude as hard as I can so that when I get it, like when he gets up, like I get to talk trash, or if you make that catch, like you get to talk trash too. So it's it's a game at the end of the day, right? But no matter what, I appreciate you for hopping on today and chopping it up, man. Like I said, we're wishing you the best in the future, and hopefully, I mean, I selfishly would love to see you up in the CFL coaching and doing your thing up here. But whatever it is, man, wishing you the best of luck in it.
Yes, sir, my brother. I appreciate you. You know, I'm gonna be watching, man. I'm still gonna be tuned in. Like I said, I'm a football savant, so I'm gonna still be watching, man. I'm gonna be rooting you on, brother. You know, you always been one of my favorite players. And before I go, I gotta tell this story because I always tell you when
Yeah.
I talk to you, bro. But one of my favorite stories about you is when you were a rookie and like, obviously Tunde, another guy we love, he was,
Yep. My dog.
established player, all-star at that time, and it's like to anybody listening, any young player, this is type of like confidence and to me delusion you gotta have, and it's
Yep.
like it's not delusion, it's confidence. And I just remember us, at that time you were on the practice squad, I mean not practice squad, the scout team
Yep.
for defense. And I just remember you always saying like, bro, I'm a starter in this league, I'm a starter in this league. And like the confidence you had as a rookie, but then to go prove it and now to be, the best safety in the league and getting paid how you paid, bro. I just want to take my
Yes, sir.
to you and salute you and give your flowers. Been through obstacles, you've been through tough times, and so I just want to tell you I love you, brother, and I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to have played alongside you, and keep doing you, brother. Keep being the guy you are, and keep being the teammate and the competitor you are, brother.
Yes, sir. Love, man. Like, really appreciate it. Like we said, we always got each other's numbers, so hit us up, hit me up. I'll hit you up
Yeah,
anytime. But yeah, Tunde too. That's my dog. I talk to him like I call that dude like at least once a month. So that's like my best friend
yeah, for
right there
sure,
in Canada for sure.
for sure.
But yeah, man, I appreciate the words. Like I said, we'll chop it up in the near future. Hopefully at a Grey Cup, maybe. The plan is if I'm
Yes,
playing
sir.
in it, but if I'm not, we'll link up. We'll have a
Yeah,
drink and enjoy the festivities for sure.
yes, sir, brother. I appreciate it. Tell everybody I say hello, my man.
Yes, sir. I will, my man. We'll see you. Take it easy.